to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We got a couple new faces up here. We'll call them the bookends.
Okay.
Actually, I invited the Algonac Student Council to come to our meeting for a discussion that we're going to have a little bit later in the meeting. And I thought, why not just bring them up here and we'll engage them in the meeting. There's Sara Osterland all the way to the left. Say hi, Sara.
Hello.
And Maddy, what's your last name? Sadler?
Yes. Hi.
Yes. So, other than that, let's do a roll call.
Cindy Valentine.
She is absent and excused.
Joanne Shirkey.
Here.
Mark Bouchard. Here. Natalie Sadler.
Here.
Sara Osterland.
Here.
Sandy Kufel.
Here.
Chris O'Regan present. And our treasurer, Christy
Here.
Philbin. And our supervisor, Artie Bryson.
I'm here. Thank you. Okay, moving right along, we have, I'll entertain a motion to pay some bills payable.
I'll make a motion to approve bills payable for $112,201.60.
Support.
Okay, a motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please. You want,
Yeah.
what?
You want me to do it?
Sure.
You want to chair it? Artie Bryson.
Yes.
Joanne Shirkey.
Yes.
Mark Bouchard.
Yes.
Sandy Kufel.
Yes.
Chris O'Regan, yes. And Christy Hilton.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have public comments. Do we have any public comments?
I'm Roland Bright. I live on Parsons Island. This isn't very enjoyable.
Can you give her your address, Roland?
202 Williams. For the last 6 months, I want the public to know that we've had a problem with a fella that built a chicken coop and he's got his chickens. It was a 2-story, but I don't have nothing to do with the building. All I have concern with is his chickens are running at large. And the episode that happened that makes me here is that the neighbor to the north of me, the chickens were in their yard by their garage, digging up around their garage, and their dog went out and flushed the chickens out. The kid came looking for the flushed chickens. He came to my yard. He told me that the dog came in his yard. I seen the whole thing. The dog came in his yard and chased the chickens. No, the dog was in their yard chasing the chickens out of his yard. And I told him, Kyle, you're lying to me. I don't want you in my yard. I don't want you chickens in my yard. I'm tired of it. They're digging up. I got my land flowing away from my house. They've dug all along there looking for bugs and worms. I've told them several times. After this episode happened, I went down there. I'm saying his stepdad, a thin, dark, brown-haired guy, thinner. He was there helping Kyle. I ain't gonna say Don Raines, the neighbor. He said he heard, but this fella said, and I'm concerned that he said in his exact words that I'm getting tired of the people around here. I'm ghetto, and I'm gonna start capping. And it's serious. And I don't care, we got Columbine. I gotta walk around my house in the shadows. I gotta walk, they don't have no curtains on their windows. They stand up there. When you drive by, I gotta go to the post office. I have to look at them, say, "You fat old man," excuse me, I'm sorry, "You fat old man." I'm tired of it. It's been going on since last September. There was supposed to be a $5,000 thing to tear that two-story. I have nothing to do with it. I didn't care about that. I'm cared about the chickens. The person never put up the $5,000 that I was told to tear that down. I was told by Officer Dowell, I had him over at my house to look at my damage. He said that chickens can run wild in St. Clair. They can, you can't do nothing about it. They cannot run wild in a cemetery. I came to the Clay Township offices, and it specifically says here that recreation animals shall be fenced in. And continue on, you can read. I'm hurt, I'm angered, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna keep putting up with it and drive by this house with this kid and his girlfriend, and I've several times, I've told people around here, the police people, I've used my last, gas, or nobody wants to listen to me. They're tired of the chickens. I don't blame them. I'm tired of it. Officer Dowell was taken off the case. I called several times. Finally, I said, I want to talk to him. He said, I'm taking off the case. That it's a border, or it's the order of we don't have one right now.
Oh, the zoning.
A zoning and, officer,
Hoping to take care of that tonight.
at least deputize a temporary one, that's an employee of our township. I pay over $2,000. I live in that house and I gotta hide. And I'm not liking it. I can't talk no more.
Okay.
And I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And I think the state police need to be involved, not just our Clay Township police. And I don't know about our board, but something's gotta be done. And I hope I protect the lives of our turkey shooters, or our turkey thing, and so there ain't a Columbine or nothing like that. And I'm tired of it, people.
Okay, Roland, thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, thank you. Yeah, we know you're upset, and we did get the coop removed.
You did.
Yep, before May 1st.
But there's a lot more
Oh,
that is involved in this.
I talked to the owner of the property today. I told him that I'm going to be issuing him a blight ticket, and he is,
Burn all them
right.
window, shutters. He had the shutters for
Yep.
fence around
It's a
his
mess.
house.
It's a
He burned
mess.
them out there. He's got a 2-year-old kid that he's letting run in that chicken crap, the duck
Yeah.
crap, and then in the oil of the resin of the things that he's
Yep.
burned. The EPA needs to know about it.
Yep.
There needs to be more done.
Yep, we're working on it. Don't scare my zoning guy away. He might hear this and then leave before I can hire him.
And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But,
I'm-
but we're working on it, believe me. And I did talk to the owner of the property. He's trying to get the tenant out of there and find a new place for
I've
him
been here
too.
over 40 years.
Right.
I fished the North Channel.
Yep.
And our sturgeon don't have a problem. They went through a decline,
They're
but
bad,
our sturgeon
Yep.
has always been here,
right.
and they taste pretty damn good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Any other public comments?
Excuse me if I go.
Yep, no problem.
You guys be safe.
Okay. Moving right along, consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda consisting of minutes from board meeting from April 15th, 2019 in synopsis, Parks and Rec reports, there are no notices, communication from Council on Aging, a thank you note, and there are no requests.
Support.
Okay, we have motion support. Any questions on the consent agenda as presented? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Moving right along to the Supervisors Report. I'm going to go by or skip the first 3 or 4 things because it talks about high water. We're going to have a high water discussion later in the agenda, so I'll skip all that good stuff. And let's see, the Colony Water Main project's full swing. We're in what, phase 2 and 3, John, kinda? We did have change in work order on the project. They basically added 8-inch gate valves on each side of any of the canals where the main was crossing. Our engineers agreed that was a good idea too, so it increased the cost by $7,500. We did budget a 10% contingency fund for the add-ons, and that was well within the framework on it. But as far as I know, it's going okay. I know they're having some challenges with the high water, but, you know, they have to deal with it. Like John and I were talking, you know, they could have showed up in December or even last October too, but they chose to wait till now, so it is what it is. Anchor Bay Drive, the second bridge replacement, starting, actually, it might have even started today. It's supposed to start this week. Anyone go down to Anchor Bay Drive today?
I did. I didn't see the word.
Okay, all right. I know the materials are there.
Yep.
And they're just getting geared up to go on that. So that's going to start any day this week.
The high water probably delayed that a little bit.
Maybe. I haven't really heard on that. Well, originally it was supposed to start at beginning of April, but they were having problems getting the materials, the framework underneath the bridge, because the company that they purchased that from was actually on the Mississippi, and they were flooded out a month ago. So
Those big beams look like they're there.
they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They look like they're staged.
Yep, they got the stuff there, they got the barge there, they're ready to go. So anyhow, that's gonna start here real soon. I was informed that from Emterra, we've been going around a bit this past couple of weeks, that they will no longer accept our recyclables in the light green bags that we've been using. The recycle business has been changing a lot globally, actually, with the global markets and pretty fast in recent years. And the problem is it's too costly for them to cut the bags and pull the recyclables out, and then they got to deal with the bags in a different way. They have a new recycle yard. Our recyclables are actually going to Canada now, believe it or not. So I told them that's all good, but I'm working on getting our $7,000 refunded to us we just bought a bunch of garbage bags to sell back. And, you know, I was kind of upset because they said, well, you know, we've been thinking about telling you we're going to discontinue this program for 6 months now.
And they told us after we made the purchase.
Yes. I mean, and I've had many conversations with them. You'd think they would say, hey, but, so I told them to write us a check for $7,000. And as I reported to the board also, you know, we have this, problems in our sewer interceptor. Basically there's a main, big, it's called the sewer interceptor. It runs from the beginning of Clay Township. I should turn my noise off. I'm on airplane mode. Tell you what, turn off. And it starts in the beginning of Clay Township by a Zobel Court. There's a Zobel Court lift station. It runs all the way through the township along M29 to the wastewater treatment plant. And we had to rebuild the Pearl Beach lift station because it was decayed from sewer gas, basically. But the issue was we rebuilt that back in 2004, and it should have lasted years, 40 years or so, 50 years, and it didn't because of the sewer gas. And so the county rebuilt that, and we kind of asked, well, geez, what's the pipe look like? And we did some checking, and it looks like it needs some
Work.
big-time work. Basically, it would be relined with a plastic sealer, I guess you would explain it. And we met, and Ira's responsible for half of this too. I met with the engineers, and along with Ira, we're gonna put it out for bid to do the work. To get a real precise bid, we'd have to clean the whole thing, camera it, and then get a bid. But the problem is, I mean, it makes more sense because, well, two reasons. Then they would, if we put out for bids, they would have to clean it again, do the exact same work to do the fix, and then, you know, do the lining and fix it. And then, so it doesn't make sense to do that twice to fix it once. And the other thing too, once you clean it and you don't seal it, all that, the interior of the pipe or the tube, the cement is exposed, and it will deteriorate even more and faster. So we're kind of putting it out for bid to name a company to do the work, and kind of like a time and material type thing. Isn't that how you would explain it, John? And to see who we're comfortable with, and doing this kind of work, it's pretty common to do it that way. Because to go out and to get a bid, it's more expensive than actually, you know, to just fix it. So we're in the process of doing that and getting that project going. It's probably not gonna happen for a year or so. It's gonna be a big job.
It's gonna last a year?
Oh, yeah, it'll better.
The current fix?
No, it will last. We do have one section right by the pump station, the Pearl Beach pump station, that, in fact, John brought that concern up, and the engineer said, yeah, we'll get it shouldn't be an issue, so hopefully.
Is this, if you could help quantify, just so I can get it straight in my mind, is this a 5-figure project, a 6-figure project, or a 7-figure project?
We don't know.
All of the above, huh?
Yeah, what do you guess, John? It's probably gonna near around $1 million. Yeah,
7-figure project?
yeah, 7-figure. So.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, what is the need right now? 10 being like it has to have.
Well, in sections, I would say 8.5, 9. I mean, I wouldn't, there's some sections I wouldn't wanna, we'd have to get a fix going in now to have it fixed in 2 years. I wouldn't be comfortable going over a year or two with it.
Gotcha.
And it's one of those things, you know, if you're gonna fix it, you know, we got this bad spot and this bad spot. We're not sure what's in the middle, but I can guess. Then we have way down here along the dike road, we're not really sure. I mean, so we're gonna check it out and fix the whole thing if necessary. To do spot fixes, it's a lot of, there's too much prep and mobilization just to do spot fixes, and,
So what do you think, grants or bonds to pay for it?
actually, we were looking at it, and, it's probably gonna go to a bond. We were looking at doing it through the state and funding it through the state. The interest rate is about the same, but there's a lot more they tie you up a lot more going through the state. And also with that too, and restrictions on how it's done, a lot more paperwork, a lot more inspection fees. Actually, the inspectors would probably cost you more than the fees for it to do the bond, actually. So we did talk about that. We're probably gonna lean towards doing a bond, but it will, I'll bring that back up to the board when it comes up. We're just, right now, beginning to write the RFQs to go out to get proposals. I think we're gonna go about 7 companies or so, 7 or 8 companies. These are big boys that, you know, aren't from around here. They do, you know, big-time work, so.
St. Clair County's overseeing the whole thing right
Yeah, St. Clair County is
Okay.
overseeing it for us. They run the wastewater treatment plants for us, so.
So if it should have lasted for years, did they figure out why it didn't last?
It was from sewer gas, so.
But was there anything that could have prevented that?
Well, yeah, but we can't really prove who would be liable for it or anything else. It was deterioration of sewer gas, and I even sent all our paperwork to the Township Legal Counsel, and they said, yeah, that's a tough one to recoup. So, but we're gonna.
So I guess we should make sure that it's not the original company that we put a bid out for.
Right, it's not. It's not, so. All right, where was I? Emterra, okay, that, yeah, we've been starting to have some, well, we already had some union negotiation meeting with all the unions except one. We haven't set up a meeting time yet with the water department, but everything else, and it's going pretty good. Truthfully, I kind of taken a back seat to all the water problems that's been going on this week, but I've had conversations, and I don't think we're gonna have too big of issues to get these contracts banged out. And same with the budget, been working on the budget. We do have a workshop scheduled for Wednesday at 10. And, but truthfully, I haven't even looked at it this week. Let's see, wanted to mention the St. Clair County Blue Water Trails is sponsoring a 2-hour paddle, May 30th. We're gonna be doing the Russell Island Loop. We leave, at the DNR launch at 5 o'clock and do the loop, and we're gonna have dinner at Catch 22 after, so if you're interested, you can sign up for that. St. John's Marsh Cleanup is going full speed at May 18th, and as a correction, I see that the starting time is at 9 a.m. I always started at 8 before, but that's okay. We have the police and fire department's gonna assist in the cleanup efforts, yeah, that's always a good event, and it's important that we make get our marsh looking good. Been doing some actually work with our planner and on the master plan. And want to mention that first Saturday, June 1st, is our mainland cleanup for Clay Township. We'll have the dumpsters over by the water department. And I do have a electronic recycler coming Saturday from 10 to 3. On the island, we'll be there on both days, Saturday and Sunday, behind Browns Field. And if you have electronics, if you're on the island, you have electronics, you want to recycle, drop it off at Browns Field, and we'll shuttle it, get it over here so we make sure it's handled right. Also want to give a shout out to the Algonac Robotics all the Algonac robotics teams. They went to the World Championship. I always used to say nationals, but they went to World Championship competition. They did very well. So, are you guys on that?
No, but
No?
I have friends.
Oh, yeah, they did well, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, so Muskrat Power. And I just wanted to mention too, on a side note, I'm part of the Algonac Clay Community Foundation. And this last Friday, we gave 30 grand away in scholarships and grants. And that's way cool to do. And actually, Sara is a recipient of one of those.
Thank you.
So, did you cash the check yet?
I did not.
You better cash it quick. So that was good. So that's all with the report. So moving right along, we got the fire chief's report. George?
Good evening. All right, Fire Chief's report for April. I attended 2 meetings in the month of April, and the first one was with the St. Clair County Chiefs Association. General business was discussed, and the second one was with the St. Clair County Emergency Management. We discussed about the 800 megahertz systems going to be shutting down in May for around 4 hours. That's for an upgrade for the radio system. And we also discussed about the high water in the county. It's some pre-planning needs to be done. So we discussed that. I also attended the FDIC in Indianapolis. I met some reps down there, seen many fire trucks, and I also attended the Fire Expo in Novi and did the same thing, talked to some fire truck reps, because as we know, we need to replace some of our equipment. Firefighter Welsh, he took his national registry last month, and he passed the national registry, so he is now licensed EMT.
Awesome.
So, also, I want to give you an update with the primal vent system. They're supposed to start working on that this week. They're going to start at the island station first, and then they'll come over to the mainland. So that's moving forward.
Sounds good. Any questions for Chief?
Chief, how is your staff as far as firefighters and command staff? Are you running close to capacity now? Or are you still on the search for new firefighters?
We're always looking for firefighters.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a couple applications. We did conduct some interviews. We are running their backgrounds right now. I have 3. So hopefully next board meeting, I'll be able to bring some on.
Good.
How's your retention?
Out of the 9, we probably lost 6. And that's due to getting a full-time job. They were working part-time for like Try and working for us, and they were looking for full-time employment, so.
And natural.
How's your scheduling going? Any easier?
It's getting easier. We're doing it by the month. In fact, I sent out an email for them to put their availability, and it's pretty good. They're turning their availability in, so, and we're filling the schedule.
Okay, good. Maddy, you have any questions for the chief?
I do not.
No? Okay, just checking. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Okay, unfinished business, we have none. Under new business, I have a discussion with a couple representatives from the student council. And what I posed to them, as you know, we're getting ready to do redo our master plan and for the township. And what that is, it's kind of where do you think the township should look like, where should it go over the next 20 years? And I thought it'd be fun to get some younger people here and see what they think Clay Township needs in the next 20 years. So guys got any ideas?
We have a couple, yeah.
I'm sure you did. So I'd like to have like a 15-minute discussion, and you can ask us questions, we'll ask you questions, so.
Do you have any questions for us? I
Not
guess?
yet, but we will,
Okay.
I'm sure.
Well,
How was prom? No, I'm just teasing.
we've had some ideas, like you guys wanted to know around the community what would work best, and me and Maddy came up with kind of more as of when you think of like downtown Algonac, like where Dairy Queen is and McDonald's and all that, there's not a lot. And like we look back at like Marine City and they have so many different stores and stuff. Like you could walk straight down and there's so many different things. And me and Maddy actually really liked that. They have a volleyball net, they have a beach, and we were actually thinking like just more simple stores, like a restaurant maybe even, or like a coffee shop. Like I know I've always wanted a simple little coffee shop that I could go to that's open all day, because like we have the First Cup and we have Antonio's, but they're not open all day. And it just would be nice like to just hang out with your friends, go there, study something with that, because after school we all have sports, but then there's not any places that we could meet up, you know? So we always like wanted something like that.
Kind of like a walking town.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
they refer to that.
Yeah.
Downtown development with maybe a few boutiques.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Maddie, do you have anything?
Something else we thought was, we have such a large body of water, and we don't exactly have a beach that we could go to and just hang out in the summer. We have the boardwalk, but I mean, it's not exactly the safest place for people to be swimming just because of the current and all. So we thought opening up an area somewhere, it could be uptown. I mean, if it had to be a little bit further out, that'd be fine too. But just for people to be able to hang out, and even for young families to bring their little kids, just a place for people to go. So that was one of our ideas too.
Okay, both of them are very good.
Yep.
I think we've been kind of pursuing both of them too. Big time. Easier said than done.
Would you like to open a boutique?
Definitely.
Yeah? Okay. So you're going to college, right?
Yes, I am.
Tell everyone what you're going to major at.
I'm going to Loyola University Chicago, and I'm majoring in exercise science to become a physical therapist.
Okay, very good. And are you going to plan on?
Yes, I'm going to SC4 to get a degree in nursing.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Okay. I was just curious.
Perfect. Good choice.
I have a few questions. Any board members have any questions right now for?
No,
If you were to historically look at some of our previous meetings, you would see that the board shares some of the same concerns and hopes for the same visions as what you've laid out in front of us. We've had discussions on both of those topics.
Yeah.
And when the right opportunities present themselves, this board will be prepared to take some action. So there is forward momentum, but it's slow at a snail's pace. But some of the stuff, especially the downtown development area, that works into what the master planner is doing for us now.
Yeah.
And so we just had a big board discussion and hired a new company to redevelop our master plan, something that hadn't been done in a while. So hopefully we'll gain some traction with that, and somewhere down the road, you'll see some of these dreams come to fruition.
Yeah, we want like it to be kind of directed towards like more for the kids, not like very little kids, but I mean we're both leaving for college, so we won't be able to see it happen. But there's kids all around town, and they can only go to the Clay Township Park or they can go to the skate park, but there's really nowhere else because it's just sometimes parents probably don't think it's safe enough, and we just want to have places for kids to go and hang out and have fun. Because everything's just so spread out. Like, I had to ride my bike everywhere as a kid. Yeah, definitely.
What about infrastructure? How I'm thinking like bike paths, sidewalks, that type of a thing. Is that pretty important to you guys?
I think it's pretty important because, I mean, you do have a lot of kids who are active in the community and like to go out and about. And I mean, bike paths for sure. Not everyone, a lot of parents work full-time and they don't have their parents to take them everywhere. So allowing the kids to be able to have that safe way of transporting from one place to another could really help with.
Okay.
Even
of these
like
things.
trails and stuff. Like, there's the state park trail, but that's kind of like a little far. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take a little hike to get there. It'd be cool if it was like in downtown Algonac and you could like take a trail, start one spot, and end up at another spot.
Okay. All good. I shouldn't say Clay DDA is in the process of putting a bike path along Fruit Road because they thought it was kind of dangerous there.
Yeah.
And it's, a lot of people use that to well, it's a link between the two schools.
Yeah.
Really, too. And there's like no shoulders, right? Isn't that right? I got a friend here who's a big bike rider. And, yeah, we're in the process of engineering that right now. And Beach Park is definitely high on the list. What do you think about, did you get a chance to read our vision statement? You know?
no.
Oh, I sent it to Mitch. Let me just read it, and let me ask if you guys agree with it or not. This is our, a vision statement is one statement, kind of wraps up your vision. It's concise, but general. Clay Township's vision statement is to protect, encourage the environmental, economic, historical, and residential character of the community while creating a destination full of recreational opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Would you agree with
Yes.
that?
Sounds good.
Sounds very good.
Very
I mean-
well thought.
That's our
I mean, one thing I think, our strengths, like Marine City, they have all the antique stores up there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There's
You
a
know,
lot of those.
There's a
up
lot of
there.
antique and hair salons in Marine City.
Bars.
And that's good. I mean, when I get my hair done, I go to Marine City. But here, our assets, I think, is our, it's our natural resources and everything. And instead of building a bunch of antique stores here,
Definitely.
we have our natural resources. And I think that's what our vision statement kind of is geared towards.
Yeah, and I feel like Marine City is a great place for the shops and everything, but you almost don't want it to be as busy as Marine City. You still want to have the outdoorsy part of uptown. You want to have all that. You don't want it to be so crammed up there that you can't travel in and out of Algonac. You know what I mean? Like, it gets so busy in Marine City sometimes that it's so hard to even go and do anything
Right.
in Marine City. So to keep it, to add things to Algonac, but not make it where it's too touristy, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you guys a question. When you guys go to college and become rich and famous, about 10 years from now or something, what would entice you to move back to Algonac and raise your family here?
Oh, that's a hard question.
I know it.
Well,
I didn't say this was an easy job sitting up here.
Well, I mean, I've lived in Algonac my whole life, and I love being a part of the small town, and everyone knows everybody, and just having like such a close-knit town and family. Personally, I would want to raise a family in a community like that, to have people all around you who you can trust and are loyal, and I mean, you're not in Chesterfield where you have all the restaurants, all the activities, but you have such a good community around you. I just feel like
Yeah.
that's a place you would want to live, in my opinion. I mean, I hope I can live in Algonac as I grow up, and I want to come back here. I don't want to move away. That's not my intentions by any means.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally different.
Yeah.
I'm going to Chicago, like, obviously. I love big cities. And when I started, like, high school, I was like, okay, this sucks. Like, Algonac is so small. Like, I want to know what it's like to go to Anchor Bay or something. But now that I'm a senior, I am so, like, I can't be any more grateful than I am for growing up here, because we only have so many kids that go to our school, and seeing how, like, close our community is, I love that. And, like,
Right.
I love the city, but I also love how just, like, music at the park could just bring our community together. We all know each other, and there's just those little things that we all do. Because if there was, like, in Chesterfield, if there was a bunch of shops and stores and restaurants, we wouldn't know, like, anything. Like, none of us could just meet up at Catch 22 and do whatever we want. And I think we just need more of that, like, just simple little activities or events.
Maybe more of a community center.
Yes. Have you thought about that?
We're working on all the
Yep.
Okay, I like this. I like it.
Do you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna give it a little personal reflect of me for you. I was like that. I was like you. I moved away from here for like, I don't know, almost 15 years. I was in Florida. I was in bop around on boats for a while, but then I was in New York City and Manhattan,
Wow.
you know, way cool. And then I went to Alaska.
Oh my gosh.
It's been around. But when I moved back, you know, I could never get real passionate about any of the communities there. But when you come back, it happens.
Yeah.
So, but I was just going to ask you too, like, because I know we concentrate on doing like music in the park and those kind of events and everything. Is that pretty important to you guys? I mean, it's stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now I know it's not cool for you guys to hang out in the park and listen to
Yeah.
old music.
I was going to say,
But-
it's
but
not
te-
something interesting to us.
But 10 years from now, you might be.
Right.
Right, yes.
It's interesting to adults, and I think like small little families that have kids, they can go there. The adults can listen to music. The kids can just play around. I
Dogs
think,
run around.
Yeah, and I love the music in the park. I think it's a great idea. But I think there also should be events like that bring the kids there. Like the kids will be like, "Okay, Mom, I'm going to the Clay Township Park. I'm going for blah blah blah," and then it's like totally okay.
Okay, you know what question I'm going to ask next? What kind of events would you go to?
I didn't get that far. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, do you
We
have
were
any
trying to
ideas?
think of things about that, because I mean, you can't bring
Hula
like,
hooping
you can't bring
on
like,
fire, light them on fire?
like there's not like full-blown concerts. You can't bring that kind of stuff. Like, I mean,
Right.
we were trying to think of things. I mean, we thought like maybe like, they had the volleyball court up there. Like, you could do like, maybe like a basketball games up there, volleyball games, maybe like some sort of like tournament like
A
that.
snack.
Yeah, just like, but I mean,
Or
besides that, we were not 100% sure on.
Okay. Well, when I was your age, it wasn't cool to hang around here. I always went to the city and stuff, but
Yeah, I always like as a kid. When I was in middle school, I'd always ride my bike up to my friends'
As a
houses,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and it's just like I can't think of any events right now, but
Okay.
it's just something to think
If
about.
you do, let us know.
I will.
Any other questions for anybody?
Well, I'd just like to make a comment, you know, being in a relocation business myself, you'd be surprised the number of people, once you reach a certain age, this is the community that you want to live in, okay? Being young and want to spread your wings, you know, you're all for that, and you need to do it. But you always come back to where you started, and a nice community, as you said, so. And I see that every day.
Have either one of you been over to the island ever?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you ride your bikes over there?
I never rode my bike, but I've been over there. Yes.
It's a pretty going town in the summer. Right?
Yes,
Yes.
definitely yes.
Chickens and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
I
we
live
refer-
over there, so I know it quite well.
When we refer to events, perhaps catering, some of the young people in our township, can you recall any events that you've recently been to in another town? Like Orion, you know, Oxford, anything in New Baltimore, anything in St. Clair that caught your interest, anything on your travels, festivals, anything that, off the top of your mind, that you're like, wow, I wish Clay Township had some of this?
Off the top of my head, I don't even try to think.
It's okay, I'm kind of
Yeah.
putting you in on the spot. I'm just
Yeah, that's a kind of a
trying
hard
to
one.
dig a little deeper here.
Axe throwing? That's big now. So,
I don't know.
Water sports, as you know. I think Artie's doing a good thing with the kayak.
yep, we're trying to, I got a grant to buy some property on the island and make a kayak launch site
That would be very cool.
So- and a bike trailhead too, so.
What positions do you hold on the student council?
I'm the director of philanthropy, so I deal with a lot of the community service that goes on in student
Just,
council.
I'm my curious, yeah.
I'm the president of student council.
All right.
Slide that down.
No, thank you.
So we have listed on our website all of our email addresses. Okay, so we're very accessible as trustees of the township. So when you get back to school and you start talking to your peers and your friends and stuff, if there's, you know, they ask you, well, how did it go? And you start coming up and maybe some idea generating, feel free to email any one of us on the board. and we'll be sure to take it to heart.
Okay.
You know, this someday is gonna be, you know, your community as well. Probably not yours, but Maddy's.
Probably.
We'll be like, who is that Sarah?
That's,
I know.
yeah, we're gonna be looking at her.
Oh, one thing I'm gonna be talking to you guys next, in a week or so too. I know you guys are always looking for, hours,
Community service hours.
yes. And, we're gonna be putting together some sandbagging parties, so. And/or if we come up, if we get enough made, some, party or a group effort to place some of the sandbags for elderly people that can't, so.
Yeah, we definitely can put that in the announcements at school too, because we have NHS, Student Council, SAD, all those groups. and
Right.
I'm
Big
sure we-
football players.
Yes, football players.
All
How
the
else do I know?
wrestlers. So when we get a little more organized, I'm gonna give you guys a call, okay?
Perfect.
Thanks for coming, just stay up here.
Don't go anywhere.
Just as a sidebar, I'm a former high school teacher, so I know all about what you kids
Yeah.
like to do. Yeah. I loved every minute that I taught in high school.
Anything else for move along? All right, thank you much for coming. Next, we have a high water discussion. And let me tell you, it's pretty much been 98% of my job and of lately as of last week and a half, and probably even more so than that. I think the water's, it's actually down a few inches than where it was last Friday. But I know there was a point, it's all blurred together. This is before we had the big rains and stuff last week. St. Clair River went up 8.4 inches in less than 12 days. And then, last week we had a bunch of rain and it probably went up another 4 or 5 inches from that. At one point, at the end of April, we were an inch behind the 1986 record for April, but we passed it actually in the beginning of May. So in the beginning of May, we were actually higher than we were in 1986 back then. I'm getting daily correspondence from the Corps of Engineers. They're projecting, that the seasonal rise in the river is going to be at least an additional 5 inches, could be 7 to 9 more inches than where it's at today, right now. And everybody on this board knows how long have I been preaching we're gonna have high water.
For months.
And ultimately, it is up to people to protect their own property. But last week, we've had several visits from the county emergency manager. I don't know how many conversations with him every day, multiple emails and tours. Responded to actually emergency manager from the state of Michigan to come through here, take survey. Some of us receded, but I think Friday we had seven or 8 roads that we had water over in the township. We have at least 4 fire hydrants that are underwater. We have manholes that are underwater right now. It ain't gonna get any better quick. Where do I even start? I've had numerous discussions with people at the county and the state level. And I got some meetings set up. A big concern is the pleasure boats and wave action from the boats, and rightly so. I have a meeting set up next week with people at the county level to see how we can step up enforcement. I've had requests from to our state reps, our state senator, and our congressman, and our senator to set up a meeting with the DNR, the Coast Guard, all the heavy hitters to do some brainstorming. From my numbers that I put together last year, it'd only take an additional $50,000. I think we should have 2 boats on the water every day of the week this summer. A third additional boat Thursday through Sunday. And that additional boat, 7 days a week, I equated the gas and the labor, comes out to about 50 grand. That was last year's number. In the whole scheme of things, like the sheriff, the sheriff's budget for the county is over $30 million. 50 grand, 60 grand. I'm asking them, I think you could find it if you really wanted to. And I put that same argument to the state of Michigan. We collect a lot of registration fees for all these boats in the state, and we should be getting a more chunk of that money, especially during this high water, for enforcement here, the 200 and 600 foot rule. I've been very aggressively seeking that. I put on your, somewhere, a sample resolution. It's going to be before us at our next meeting. And in a nutshell, the resolution is requesting immediate increased strict enforcement of the current boating restrictions in Clay Township by the St. Clair County Sheriff's Marine Division due to record high levels. And later, if you go down to the last paragraph, it's going to say, this is a rough draft, but therefore let it be resolved that Clay Township Board of Trustees has determined that enforcement of the existing boating restrictions is more imperative than ever before to protect our public and prevent devastating property damage as a result of record high water levels, and request immediate and significantly increased strict enforcement of the St. Clair County Sheriff's Marine Division of the state and local laws on the Clay Township waterways and adjacent shoreline areas. So I'm going to have this resolution before you guys, because, and you can ask my office staff, we probably get, 100 between phone calls, people come in and everything this week, 100 a day? Yeah, well over 100 a day. What are you gonna do? At least we're making it official. We're, other than me just talking and hoping. Another problem we have is we have people trying to protect their property with sandbags or whatever. We'll have say we have 8 or 9 properties in a row, and all the neighbors are getting together to build a dike system or whatever, which is great. It's fantastic. But we'll have one property owner in the middle. It's not going to do anything. In fact, we had one property in the middle that said, it's private property, you can't come on. I have this piece of paper, and I pulled it off of St. Clair Shores. I copied this from St. Clair Shores. It's basically a ordinance, emergency or authority in the event of rising waters. Basically, if the water gets so X amount of height, it gives the township to say, hey, we're gonna come in there and make it safe for everybody on your property. And if you don't do it yourself, we're gonna do it for you and charge you for it. So this is an ordinance that's been tested in St. Clair Shores. I sent it to our attorney yesterday. I'm waiting to get some feedback. But that's something we may want to do now. To do an ordinance, it's gonna, we're gonna have to publish it, and it probably wouldn't be in effect for a couple, 3 months, but I'm thinking we should take a serious look at this as a board
I think so. I think it'd be.
and do something, because I know of 3 or 4 specific spots where that issue has come up. In fact, our police chief, Mike, said, yeah, we had a call on somebody who was complaining because his neighbor put a sandbag on his property, and it was literally 2 feet on the other side of the line, you know? And so that's another thing that I'm gonna have before you at our next meeting. I wanted to have a discussion. There's some communities that are helping their residents as much as they can, as far to prepare for this water that we have and it's coming, and some that are not. In 1986, when we had the high water, the township handed out bags and had sand available for all the residents for free. We were getting sandbags through the emergency management, county emergency management, that was free. And we were distributing to our citizens. And it was interesting because when the emergency manager, he was new, but he was down here, and John can attest, and George, that, you know, he was all gung-ho, we gotta help these people, we gotta help these people, we gotta, you know, figure out stuff, and he was I was surprised the measures he was willing to take to help some neighborhoods. But then it was Tuesday at 4:30, I got an email that said, the sandbags are, you know, we're going through thousands. We've given away in the past week and a half 30,000 sandbags, put a number on it. And he basically said, well, you can come up and pick up 1,000 sandbags, and you're only allowed, they're suggesting only give 20 or 25 to a homeowner, and instruct them just to put the sandbags across their front door so the water doesn't seep through their door. And we have people that have a lot more bigger issues than that. So I wanted to have a discussion on what you think we should do as a board. I'll tell you personally what I think we should do, and I'll go both sides of the argument. Let me back up a second. We had the sandbags available, we didn't have sand, and kudos to some people who donated sand to our residents for sandbags. I want to give a shout out to Piper Zach. It's going to be 4? Huh? Yep, it's going to be four gravel trains full of sand. Cordes Brothers, they brought us sand to Harson's Island here, and they're actually doing the free trucking of the Piper Zach sand. And Steve Grasso gave us a couple trains of sand. And also Chris Marine has sand available in front of his business, and so does Mowing Madness, you know, for people to come and fill their bags up. Great kudos to them. And you know, we went through so much sand so quick, and that gravy train is kind of drying up. We're going to get one more gravel train full, or it's gravel train, but you know, it's 36 yards or whatever it is from Piper Zach, and Cordes is going to deliver them. Hopefully tomorrow, but maybe Wednesday. They got a broken truck right now, and that's probably going to be it. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Which I hope that the board approves. If not, I'm going to take it out of my own wages. I did purchase 24,000 sandbags under my emergency powers for the township, and they were I didn't think they were gonna actually show up till Tuesday, but this company, they expedited the shipment to us for free. They showed up Friday. We've been handing out a maximum of 200 per household. What do we have, 10,000 left? 9,000 left. These will be gone.
Friday.
Yeah, or Friday or before. So that will put our thing up to 40,000 sandbags we doled out. I want to get your thoughts on how much we want to help our residents. There's arguments like, someone in the back of Algonac doesn't live on the water. Well, why are my taxpayers helping these people out? They should do it themselves. My argument would be if to help them is twofold, or actually threefold. One, I think it's the right thing to do, because we can buy things in quantity where other people, you go to Lumberjack or Menards or whatever, it is 50 cents a bag. And if there was a tornado or something that hit the back of the township, we'd be there helping those people out too. And also, I think the first line of defense for this high water is the seawalls. And let me tell you, we have a lot of public infrastructure. We have roads, we have our sewer system, our water system, and everything else that will be protected if people protect the coastline. So that's my own personal thinking. I would ask, if the board so chooses, to provide sand and sandbags, is to give me a limit, say, I think $15,000 would be a pretty good number to get more bags, and that would give us probably another $7,000, $8,000 to get sand, make sand available too. I guess, what's the board think?
Well, another aspect of homes flooding, coming from where I sit, is property values. Once a home floods, that's going to diminish the property values of the surrounding neighbors.
That's right.
Okay, so there's another aspect in this whole thing. Not that it can be significant, but, it's still there.
And on that point, Mark, too, if someone's property is underwater, they're gonna come to our board of review.
Sure.
And say, lower my taxes because my property isn't worth
Exactly,
as much.
exactly.
So it does hurt us too.
Yeah. So what are you asking for? 15,000 for sand and bags, or are you asking
Yes,
for?
just 15,000, and it will be spent for bags and sand, if that's what the board chooses. I mean, if you want to have a discussion, do we want to charge the homeowners for the bags? I mean, what would it be, $20 per, they're 50, my calculator, but.
Well, I remember back in '85, we came here and we got free sandbags. So,
Right.
and I sandbagged my property and,
Yeah.
I think I still have a few of them in the garage.
I do too.
Right. I mean, that's what we did in the past. St. Clair Shores, there's a lot of communities that aren't charging their residents. And
Harrison Township.
and what's that?
Harrison Township.
Harrison Township, isn't
St.
it?
Clair Shores.
I'm not sure what Ira's gonna do. I think Algonac's sticking right now to the 20 are they doing the 20 sandbags per? But they don't have many people knocking on their door. We have a continuous need. I mean, we have 140 miles of coastline in the township, so.
Well, here, since this is more or less an emergency situation, I would say go ahead and provide it for free this year. and then next year prepare for it adequately and let the homeowners or the residents at that point in time know that there may be a charge as minimal as possible for next year.
I did a lot of research on flood insurance and actually homeowners insurance. I posted it out on social media where I could. And I had a lot of insurance agents that didn't even realize it. But all flood insurance policies and a lot of homeowners insurance policies will pay up to $1,000. Well, they'll reimburse you up to $1,000 to pay for flood mitigation, like sandbags and labor to fill them, that type of a thing.
Like preventative maintenance.
Preventive, yes. And, but I told them, call your attorney, or your attorney, your insurance agent. In fact, one of them said, yeah, my guy, they got ahold of me, my guy is in Marysville, and he didn't know anything about it, and then he brought it up, and he goes, oh my gosh, you're right, so.
Something else that most people are unaware of is most flood insurance is set by FEMA, and whoever the agency that you're going to secure the policies through don't cover contents.
Right, no contents
Personal
covered.
property is not part of the flood insurance process. So it just covers structure. And if you look in the way most insurance policies are sold, most people have about 70% of content value in comparison to their house. So if their house is worth 100 grand, chances are they got about 70 grand in contents. And that's the way most carriers set up the structure when you're purchasing a home or business insurance. So FEMA and whoever your provider is for the flood insurance, again, they don't cover contents, couches, TVs, computers, laptops, dressers, clothing, garments, kitchen appliances. You know, that stuff's not part of
Right.
the coverage. So just so everybody's aware and on the same page, it's pertinent to protect your property. And commenting on the 15 grand, I don't know that it's enough.
It might not be.
I don't know that it's enough. Now, I don't want to be wild reaching. I certainly, I'm more frivolous than, don't want to be frivolous with taxpayer dollars. But in my mind, based on the volume that you have, the need that's still banging on the township offices, and the overall value we're going to have to protect properties, I'm asking the board to maybe consider a $25,000 cap. And if we don't get there, great.
Right.
Terrific. But I don't know that.
So our initial outlay would be 15 grand, and if we need more,
It's gonna, well, to buy bags, you have the one bill here.
okay.
And we checked around pretty good, and these are good ultraviolet, UV protected bags, they don't rot. I mean, they're, I could have saved half a penny to get the ones that rot in a year. They're good bags, and we're gonna have to get sand. And we're shopping around right now. I know we can get it for $6 a yard, and pick it up ourselves. But we're gonna be shopping for sand. You gotta have some, clean sand, yellow sand.
Do we know how many bags a yard will fill?
I don't know,
Do we have any idea that?
you know what, I was
calculation?
talking to Steve Gross, so he was gonna figure it out, but I never did hear. John, you know how much sand takes, how many bags you can get out of a yard, or?
I don't know.
Okay,
I mean, you could do the cubic foot.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not real sure.
We need to know the volume of the bag. You got 14 by 26, need to convert that to cubic, and then
Here.
do it to yards. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm gonna give it to her.
They're the small ones.
But, John's on it right now. But, I did want to mention too, I just found out right before our meeting, I have, community service labor from the probate court coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least to, start filling sandbags, and we're gonna put them on pallets for elderly people who can't help themselves, and we're going to pre-qualify them, and I'm gonna go check it out, and based on need, you know, who's worse would, you know.
So, let me ask you, maybe John knows, how many residents have picked up bags so far? It's hard to say.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
George went over on the island. What time did you get there? 9 o'clock to hand out sandbags. He had 5,000 of them, and he was calling me at 1 o'clock, they're all gone. And these are like 100 and 200, you know,
Well, we went through 16,000 bags since Friday.
yeah,
To answer your question, though, you get 55 sandbags out of a yard,
55.
55.
Out of a yard?
yeah, approximately. And just to pull a little more perspective on your dollar numbers, if we didn't have all the sand donated, we've went through about $11,000 worth of sand and sandbags. since
Yeah.
April 15.
Right,
Wow, wow.
so,
Yeah, we should step up.
so well, let me ask you, is the board comfortable of giving the sand and the sandbags to our residents on you know, on need? And we're qualifying them, we're asking where their address is, where they live.
That's fine, that's good. Qualified, yeah.
But I personally think it's the right thing to do, because ultimately it's gonna help our township too.
I agree with you, Artie.
Okay,
Well, I personally spend many hours and time and effort in this township, and I think we owe it to our residents to look out for them and the property that we're here to protect. All of us have that in mind. If we have the means and ability to do so, we should. And for those that argue, I pray that when their time of need comes, someone's there for them too.
I agree, thank you.
I agree.
And one other thing too, I wanted to say to everybody out in TV land, that you're gonna see the water fluctuation of the river go up and down a lot. For a couple reasons. If we get a wind event, you know, any wind out of the west or southwest is gonna raise our water. And actually, luckily, when we had the higher water last week, the wind was blowing out of the north and east. And that's why you were reading how St. Clair Shores and Clinton River were worse. So, and also what happens too, when the ground is saturated, when it's normal ground, we get a rain, the river will come up a little bit, and you really don't see that much fluctuation. But with the water or the ground this saturated, you get an inch of rain and that river pops up 2-3 inches. What was it, John? 1 acre of, this is 1 acre of land with 1 inch of rain on it, 32,000 gallons on an acre. And so you put it in that perspective, a lot of water. So I just want people to aware that you're gonna see spikes going up and down.
And it continuously rises through July?
Through July is the normal, through like the second week of July usually, then the Corps is saying that we're going to have near record or near record levels for at least 9 months. Superior is record level, and so is Ontario, above and below us. And I just got I saw an article today in the Sioux paper where the locks are up there. They're gonna open a couple of their gates, but they say it minimally impacts our water here. I don't believe that. I think it does a little bit more than that. But everything's open downstream from us. You know, they're trying to get rid of that water in Lake Ontario. Up the river in Ottawa in Canada, they're having issues with the river up there. And someone told me they actually declared an emergency across the river in Canada.
Monroe's really got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to mention something else too. We'll get to you in a little bit, Shannon. I hope you're not too bored. I want to mention something else. We had discussions on, okay, if we declared emergency, what happens, or how's it, the process and what can be done. You can't declare emergency until after the fact, and you have to quantify the amount of damage. And so once there is an emergency declared, it will free up, they call it 390 money, and I'm not sure exactly how that works or what it pays for or anything else, but I know the township for infrastructure and public property, it would help us protect a lot, and like John said they said, take pictures of everything with the documentation, and we could get some money back, even for what we're doing here. Also, same, we have to quantify it, the damage for private people too. So, and I was gonna put it out there if I would need, people's name and address and an estimate figure on what the cost is of the damage is. And someone actually from the emergency management team would go out and take a look at it. But we have to reach some sort of a threshold. I know Wayne County they declared an area in Wayne County from flooding of emergency. We were really surprised the government signed it so quick, because there was 2 other spots that tried to get a emergency status, and they said no. So we gotta have our documentation, and we're gonna wait till it goes over that threshold, and we may be doing that if it gets worse. So I just wanted to let everybody know. Been working hard on this.
You have, yeah.
And it changes like daily, it seems like. People ask me, hey, Artie, you gotta say no wake in front of my house. It's okay with the other channels, they go fast, but in front of my house, it should be no wake. That's harder said than done. We are gonna have some discussions at the state level about that. Maybe if the water level goes up about, above the X amount of level, we can do an emergency no wake of the river or something like that. But then again, you need enforcement. You need propellers on the water to enforce it. Otherwise, nobody's gonna know, and, okay, it's no wake instead of a 200-foot rule, and they blow, we need enforcement first and foremost.
We need some tickets written. right?
Yeah, we need tickets, right, like I said in that
We need some
resolution,
tickets written.
to aggressively and strictly enforce.
Only way the word's gonna get out.
Yep. And we've asked the sheriff to do, let's take one channel at a time, early in the spring. Let's take one channel at a time. We'll hit the north channel, we'll hit the south channel, the middle channel, or the Baltimore, or whatever, like they do the ticket or click it things with the seat belts. And just pull everyone over right there, boom. And then move it, another day someplace else. But that hasn't happened yet. But you're right with the tickets, so. I'll entertain a motion, and in it, I think we should put in that we're going to make the sand, if the board chooses, we're gonna make want me to make a motion?
You say it sounds like you're.
Well, hang on a
Okay.
second, hang on a second.
Okay,
I ran some numbers, and I just want to run this by the board before you make your motion. We've given away 30,000 sandbags?
yeah,
Approximately?
we have 9,000 left.
In a couple of weeks. So, given that this is going to be going on, could be well into July, is it conceivable that we're going to burn another 72,000 sandbags? So at $6 a yard, Artie, is that delivered?
No, that's with us picking it up.
Yeah, $10 a yard delivered.
$10 a yard delivered,
Are you breaking the labor out of that for picking the sand up?
$10 a yard delivered.
$10 a yard delivery.
Okay.
We want
What is
6,
it?
we need 4 times 1309.
7-yard truck?
So another 5,000.
35 brought at one time in a train.
Yeah, we're $26,050 to fill up about 72,000 bags.
more bags.
Yep.
Okay.
So we could scale that, grow
We
it,
gotta buy
shrink
some
it.
bags
Well,
too.
that's just the sand, we gotta buy the bags.
No, that's bags.
Okay, that's
the whole
bags,
thing.
too.
Yeah. At the $6 a yard, it was, it's approximately 28 cents a bag filled.
Right, that's what we
But
figured.
we gotta go 10. That labor has to be accounted for. And we're really not capturing, all the overhead time in the office, all the overhead time at the DPW. So that's not even
Right.
capturing that part of it. I just, I want to be, I guess I want to be if we're going to make a motion, I want to be aggressive with it, to not undershoot it.
Not exceed 30?
Yeah.
I mean, we can adjust it at our next meeting if needed.
Rough speaking, 30 would get us probably close to 80,000 bags.
Yeah.
So I think, if we continue in the same fashion that's going on at the DPW right now, I think we're going to burn them. I just don't think it's.
And just so everyone, we've been making sand available at our water department, and we've been hauling sand over near the Lions Hall on the island.
The only thing they can bring there is a tandem, they can't bring trains.
Right, across the river,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So the DPW is gonna be delivering the sand over there,
Well, how big is your truck?
6 yard.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably do, 3 maybe tomorrow? 3 tomorrow?
Okay.
We don't have a freighter coming in over there anymore, do we?
No.
They just bring
we used to.
stone, they don't
Do we
bring
have,
dirt.
I know.
do we have accountability on who we're giving bags to, or is it?
The
That's-
bags we
that's
do.
important.
The bags we do. I mean, we're asking their name, we talk to them, where do you live? Name, address,
Terrific.
how many they're getting.
So somebody has to man that position as well,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yep.
That's more,
Been doing it at the water department and the fire departments.
that takes resources.
Yep.
That's all. I just want to make sure I'm considering the whole big thing here.
Yeah. It's not a small problem, We have a lot of residents that's impacting.
And if we do get an actual flooding event, it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
There's gonna be way more bags of sand needed. They'll come in droves at that point.
So if we do this, is there a schedule you can work out? Because we're not gonna order $30,000 at once, but we're gonna do it incremental
Yeah, we're gonna do it by the,
and as needed.
we had 24,000 bags delivered Friday, and we have 9,000 left. I'm gonna put in another order tomorrow,
Okay.
and that will hold us a good week and a half, 2 weeks. And then we'll get the sand delivered as needed. I'm not gonna have
Mounds.
a mound of sand, and we're setting up work parties. I've been in contact with 3 different companies to set up, work parties through their company, Quicken Loans, Cargill Hill. I got a lot of people that are coming, hey, Artie, we wanna help. I mean, it's really great, for free labor and stuff. Cause that's another issue, it's labor intensive sandbagging.
Well, I hope that free labor and stuff doesn't change as soon as they find out that we have money in the bank now.
Well,
We're good,
but-
we're okay with
yeah,
the money. Yeah.
yep, we're okay.
So, John, is it safe to say that I know you guys are going through a lot of resources now with your employees and getting the sand bags filled, and it would be more beneficial right now and more proactive to spend those resources now And if we didn't do it and had a panic emergency situation later,
Yep.
Unfortunately, human nature is to procrastinate. These are the people that are preparing. There's gonna be a lot more that procrastinate.
it's never gonna happen to them.
Well, I've been saying for 4 or 5 months, we're gonna have high water,
You start every report like,
every report.
Maddy, can we get some assistance at the high school level? And put the word out that we will need some sandbaggers?
Yes,
To some people looking for some community service?
Most definitely.
Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, all we have to do is tell like a coach that has boys, and
Yeah.
the coach will yell at the boys to do it.
It's good for wrestlers and
Yeah.
and football players,
They're running
right?
track, yeah,
Yeah.
football players meet once a week right now,
Yeah.
baseball's going on,
We
so.
definitely could find people.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
can't play, the fields are too wet, so.
Exactly.
Come
maybe we could coordinate, like, when you're getting a delivery and there's like enough work to do.
Yeah, no, yeah,
To
that's what we're
encourage,
gonna do.
like,
We
a
gotta get
team or-
organized.
Yeah.
Rather than just say,
Understand.
hey, come out.
Yeah.
But if you could start the process of communication.
Of course.
What number is the board thinking? And I'll make a motion.
Well, I think we can give you a cap, and it doesn't mean you're gonna spend it next week.
Right.
So, I mean,
Exactly. Hope I don't
we're
spend it, but.
trusting to be financially responsible with it, so I don't have a problem with a higher cap, so.
Could- I can't hear you down there.
So 72,000 bags is gonna cost the township about 26,000, and that's not including, DPW resources or internal office
And
resources.
we got a little bit of ferry charge there too, not a lot, but.
Yeah,
Wanna go 30, wanna go 35?
my mind is at 30.
30.
I make a motion that the board limits the supervisor to spend $30,000 on sand and sandbags, and other miscellaneous small things that might come up to help people out during the high water. And that we make it available to all our residents, but only Clay Township residents.
Yeah.
Should you have only qualified residents?
Yeah.
or Put that in there?
Well, I'd say residents, let me refrain that. I mean, my main residence is in Royal Oak, but I have a cottage here.
Yeah.
They have to be property owners.
Property
Property
owners.
owners.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll amend that to property owners.
Do the property owners have to be in good standing with the township? What if they're delinquent on their taxes?
I'm not gonna check everybody. That'd be hard. I mean, we'd have to be open here to check.
Then they'll be even more delinquent when their property is
Yeah,
destroyed.
they'll be,
Okay.
I just don't have a way to.
Yeah, let's protect the property, whether it's back taxes or not.
Trying to just think of the aspect, we're kind
Yeah.
of flying by our pants on.
Right.
Unintended consequences.
Yeah.
Can't just,
So,
This is something that's kind of in
Gotta
good
have a way
faith
to
on all
control
aspects, so
do I have a support on that motion?
I'll support.
Okay, a motion support. Any more discussion?
Do we currently have do we currently have a limit on what we're willing to give away to an
200.
individual? Okay.
Do you
Two.
wanna maintain that limit,
200?
or do you wanna change that, or do you want to?
Could we change it to a certain number per square footage, or,
Well, we
I
don't
mean, I
have
don't know how
any
to
way
figure
to
that.
It'd be
figure.
frontage, I would think.
Yeah,
no, I get it, but, I mean,
You know,
200 might be great for that
Another
property
math
owner, it might
question, how
not be
many,
a dent in that
24
one.
inches, how many bags are in 100 foot of frontage?
yeah, you need a couple hundred.
12 foot,
You
2
need a
feet,
couple hundred.
50?
If someone says they need more, I tell them, hey, fill the 200 first and come back, you know?
When I had one lady come in last week and wanted 2,000.
Yeah.
and not even knowing if that was.
If we're doing 200,
I think we should base it on water frontage. That-
That's gonna be tough.
Well, not really.
I just, 200 and
Is-
Maybe if it's over 200 they're requesting, then
Then we could verify.
then we can verify it.
Is 200 a reasonable amount for most
Yeah,
residents?
Yes.
yeah. A lot of them are coming in and say, I need 100.
Most people are under 100.
Yeah, 75.
Would it be manageable to just do a little bit investigation of people that request more? Or take 200 and come back, and by the time
That's
they
what I
come
told them,
back, we
take
have time
200,
to
fill them, and
investigate?
come back, and instead of having 1,000 of them sitting in the
Well,
garage.
are most of them doing a single stack or a double stack or a triple stack?
Depends.
Most have said a double thus far.
Double.
Till the water comes, then it goes to 3 or 4, but 2 is what the.
Like, people over by Anchor Bay Drive, they're gonna have waves.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
I think,
yeah.
you know, they're gonna need to go higher myself, but,
Well, I mean, we also have to consider, we want it to be spread out. We want it to
Yep,
go to as many people as possible.
exactly.
So we're not necessarily limiting because we don't want to give you more. We
Yeah.
want to service more people.
right.
But if there's a huge need, or their, you know, their property is way bigger than half the other people, they should get consideration.
At 200 sandbags, we only have the ability to help 360 of our residents. That's not very many. I think demand will exceed supply.
It will.
What would it be if it was just to sandbag to protect structure only? That means you're gonna get water in your yard, but you're gonna sandbag around your garage or your
So-
house.
Sometimes it takes more to go around the house than it is
Right.
across the front.
it's all different situations.
Yeah.
Depending on where the water.
Stop it at the seawall when we get that far.
Well, it's just things I have to throw out, you know?
Yeah,
Because I know, my next door neighbor sandbagged around her entire house, and I just sandbagged around my patio. And after the
That's
water
if they get
receded, I took my
200, Chris.
sandbags away,
is.
and she had
That's if they
she
get
had
200.
a Fort Apache.
Yep.
Right.
You know.
And they said a lot get less.
If they get 150, we could help 480 residents.
yeah, but a lot of them are about 100.
And if they get 100, we could help close to 720
700.
residents.
It's a lot of work. I mean, sandbags, I mean, that's a lot of sandbags.
Sandbags per person.
Uh,
That's what the fire department's been doing.
Yeah, 100?
You
Okay.
fill 100, you need more, come back.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Initial 100. That's no
That gives
more.
us the ability to help out 720 residents. That's pretty significant.
Yep.
Would the board agree with that?
Let me amend my motion that we, it won't take, that we do
She didn't write it down yet, no.
$30,000, up to $30,000 on sandbags and miscellaneous small things, to, limited to property owners of Clay Township, and limited them at 100 bags per pickup, would we say, or?
The problem is they'll be there this morning and this afternoon.
Yeah,
And tomorrow.
For 100
Well,
bags per.
most people have 2 or 3 people working with them. They're, you know,
I think you need to set a little bit higher, and then I think we need to verify beyond 200 if it's a large.
okay. To 200, no more than 200 without verification.
Because really, the 100 is not that many
No.
for the average lot. And if they come in and say we want 500 or 1,000, we'll call you, Sherry, and say how big is their property.
That'll cover 50, a single stack 50-foot frontage.
Well, I'm thinking we're gonna have to go
Right.
past single.
Do you also support
Bags
my
are 2 feet
amendment?
long.
Okay.
Trying to do the math in my head, maybe I'm wrong.
What did you finally settle on for your amendment?
200,
Okay.
Up to 200?
Okay.
up to 200.
30
Just
crate,
making
30
sure we're
crate
all
cap.
on the same page.
Okay. We can amend this at our next meeting. I'm sure we will. Remember, our next meeting is on Harson's Island.
Well, this is a great start.
That's right, this is a good start. Any more discussion?
What about unused sandbags that the residents have? Can they turn them back in?
Yeah,
They should
I
turn them
put
back
it
in.
out, I actually put it out there, and we'll do it more. We should tell them, you know what, if you don't use them all, please
Bring them back, yeah.
so we can recycle them.
That has happened.
That has.
Okay. I mean, I had mine for years.
Bring them back.
Ready for a vote?
Yep, any more discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Joanne Shirkey,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Sandy Kufelt,
Yes.
Chris O'Regan, yes. Christy Hilton,
Yes.
Artie Bryson,
Yes.
unanimous.
Is it okay with you?
Yes,
Okay, Sarah,
it's okay with me.
are we doing the right thing?
Yes.
Are we?
Yes, you are.
Okay, because if not, I expect you to slap us. All right, moving right along. We have Shannon here, that's my nominee for hiring a part-time code enforcement. But first, we want to approve the official job description that's before you. I know Cindy, she's had some training, or Valentine had some training, and apparently all of our positions have to have job descriptions with us. And lo and behold, we didn't have one written for
Code enforcer.
our code enforcing position, so I'd like to approve this and then move on.
I'll make a motion to approve the code enforcer job description as
Okay.
presented to us.
Support?
Okay, we have motion and support, any discussion? It is a
Yeah,
part-time,
it should, what about attending, I'd say periodically, the planning commission?
well, I would put in here meetings that if requested.
Okay.
Um,
I don't see the other duties as
That's other duties,
assigned.
yeah.
Other duties or meetings?
Well, it's in there under other duties.
I don't see the other duties
Oh,
as.
Yeah, I'm missing it.
Yeah,
You can add it under additional notes.
yes, I would say just other duty as prescribed by, well, supervisor would be the supervisor, so. Or make a 8,
Other duties as directed by the supervisor?
yes. Okay, does that look good to everybody?
Is that on a specific number on?
8.
Number 8, yeah.
So can you read that back to us?
It was to amend to add other duties as directed by the supervisor.
Yeah. It's kind of blanket.
She's still with the motion.
What do you think?
You still okay with it with that amendment, Joanne?
Okay, we have motion, and
Mark, support.
any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, I'd like to, even though he hasn't seen the job description yet, it's the same.
He knows what number
Want
8
to come
is.
up, Shannon?
He's good.
I'm recommending that we hire Shannon Murray as our code enforcing officer, and as soon as he starts, I'd like to actually take him around the township and show him some frequent flyers and show him where our old chicken coop was and the mess we have there, and a couple other things, but as mentioned before, we checked him out. He other places where he was, and they recommended him highly, and I think he would fit our need as, that we have going forward in our township.
Ask a question?
Sure.
Yes.
Are you currently working somewhere?
I'm self-employed.
Self-employed? Okay. All right. Are you familiar with any of the Clay Township ordinances?
Not off the top of my head, but I assume they're all somewhat similar. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
no,
worked 3 other communities, and they're all somewhat in line with each other.
The reason I brought up the other duties or attend a meeting, special planning commission, I'm the board representative on the planning commission, and believe me, we don't enforce ordinances, but they sure come on here and want us to enforce the ordinances that we have, so be prepared for feedback from the planning commission through Artie to you, okay? That's the way it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the ordinances are the same. We have a few that are a little different just because we're kind of a unique boating community and things. And we'll go over all that with Shannon. And he's familiar with BSNA and probably more so than our old code enforcer was. And so that's why I'm pretty confident that Shannon will be good for us.
Do you have a PPO? Oh, no, no comment, huh? I just asked.
So to kind of follow up on Mark's question about the meetings, is it in the other communities you've worked at, did you normally go to city council or board meetings?
No.
Not if I don't have to.
Good answer.
Is this job probationary, on probation?
Yeah, it's all 6 months probation and
Okay.
for all our new hires.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Mr. Murray, it's an important position for us, for the township. We want to have your back. We want to support you as much as we can. So communication with this board and perhaps some of the other boards as well will be pertinent to your success, to keep that communication line open. If you're having some difficulties, if you're having some trouble, we want to know about it, and we want to help you resolve those issues. We don't want to put you out on an island, and literally or figuratively.
Especially around here.
But it's a position we're excited about, and we're excited to get the job slot filled, and we're hoping you're the right guy. So our supervisor seems to like you. He's vetted you, and he seems to think you're qualified. So we're going to be trusting. I'm going to be trusting of his decision, and I'll support you.
I appreciate that.
But I want to leave that
that a
communication
motion?
line open. Yeah, I'll make it official. I'll make a motion that we hire Mr. Shannon Murray for our part-time code enforcement officer for the Township of Clay.
Support.
Okay, motion and support. Any more discussion or questions? Maddie, you have any questions for him?
I do not.
No? Have any questions for
I
him?
do not.
How's your chance?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Shannon.
Thank you both.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
When can you start?
Next Tuesday,
Okay, all right. I got something.
if that works for you.
Yeah, sure. But sooner the better. I do have something for you, paperwork. I'll give you in a second.
Okay,
All right, great. Thank you much.
thank you.
Okay, that's all we have under new business. Board member comments. I usually go with Cindy first, and she'd probably, if she was here, she'd probably say, we have election tomorrow,
Yeah.
and come in and vote.
Get out and vote.
So, yeah.
Maddy?
Maddy? Do you have any board member comments?
I do not have any comments.
Okay, how about you, Mark?
We had a planning commission last Wednesday, and we reviewed the Kropinski Bay development. We've postponed that until they get their permits, which is a number of them, and it's going to take some time to do that. And that was an open meeting, and I'd also like to comment on Kathy, how do you pronounce her last name? Schweikert. Yeah, she did a great job. We had a house full of residents that responded to the public hearing. It was good to see and how professional everything went down. Thank you.
We have a ZBA meeting coming up on the 15th of May, and I want to say welcome aboard to Shannon, and congratulations to the young man that just got his
Walsh.
Walsh.
Yep, firefighter Welsh.
And also to thank you to the two young ladies that attended this meeting to see what politics are all about and what we try to take care of our citizens, that we work hard at it. So I'm glad you could both come.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Okay, Sarah, do you have any board member comments?
I do not.
No? How about you, Sandy?
Well, I know we talk a lot about building up our community and supporting our community, so I wanted to make sure everyone was aware that this weekend we had a grand opening of a new restaurant in Clay Township, Bugsy's American Grill. So if anyone has a chance to stop by and check them out and give our local business some support, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Is that open now?
Yes.
Yep, I believe they opened on
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we were able to do our inspections and get them open.
Good. And then, other than that, I just wanted to mention the high school was going to be putting on a color run, but I thought maybe Sara and Maddy could tell us a little bit more about it.
It's this weekend, and it's on a Saturday. Starts at 9 a.m. You can register at this high school. You get a t-shirt and a bandana, and you can color both of them. It's a little bit over a 5K. It's 4.1 miles, and then it goes all the way to the Clay Township Park, and then when you're done running, you can eat food. There's drinks, there's music. We didn't have a lot of people last year, so we're trying to get it around. But it's also, all the money is going to a student that's battling cancer at the school.
Okay. Nat?
Yes,
Team Nat.
Team Nat.
So can they just come to the run and register there, or do they have
Yes.
to pre-register?
Nope, they can do both. They can come a little bit before 9, get a t-shirt. It's just, they want you to pre-register because t-shirts are limited, so.
Yeah, I believe registration for that day starts at 8 a.m.
Yep.
at the school.
Okay, are you done, Sandy?
That's all I have.
Okay, Chris?
The Clay Township signage, you had sent out
Yep, we're getting on it.
yeah, those are some really neat things. I don't know, have we made some decisions on that?
No, not yet. I'm gonna send it out to get some quotes and we'll finalize it. I took a big vote from employees, the board members and everything else with the options, and I'll assemble it, what it is, and get a final quote for it, and, yeah.
Good, I just want to make sure that wasn't lost in
Oh,
trash.
no, it's on my desk still.
That sign is, it bothers me every time I enter the
Yeah,
township.
and the DDA, you know, the DDA has a couple signs on their district, and they actually, they have someone coming to refurbish them and paint them and make it brighter. They're like 20-some years old, and they're kind of faded.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and that's gonna start happening here in about a week or two,
Okay.
so.
I've appreciated the cohesion with the board today. I feel like we stood together, to support our residents. We took a very, in my opinion, aggressive position to support our residents, and I applaud each and every one of you for that support. That's all I have.
Here, Chrissy?
I just want to give the board an update I had the opportunity, thank you, to spend my third 1 week per year in Mount Pleasant. So I have now finished all of my 100 hours toward my certification to become a Michigan Certified Public Treasurer.
Congratulations.
But I'm a little
I don't think
short
we've ever had
on,
one.
I'm a little short on time, so I don't know if they're gonna certify me this year or if I'm gonna have to wait until next year because you're supposed to be on the job for 3 full years
Right.
before. But they're gonna vote on it, I guess, so.
Oh,
Perfect.
okay.
Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Very good work.
Yeah.
You said this one was it was a good session.
It was really, really good, yeah.
Yeah. That's really good.
Lots of workshops on ethics, on financial safety, SLY, so liquid,
Versus,
safety and yield. It was good. It was a
Good.
good week.
good. Okay, I want to give congrats to our new EMT on the force, on our department, and yeah, I think we might be trying to get a red ribbon cutting at Bugsy's. Introduce them, that was Sandy's idea. She pinged me on today. And so I'll let everybody know when that might be. And we're going to be aggressive as much as we can through this high water for, helping people out with the boat waves. We were successful on slowing most of the freighters down last year, for actually 2 years ago, and they're continuing to do it. Every once in a while, we get a rogue freighter that comes in fast and throws a weight. I wanted to mention too, actually, there's grant money available for flood abatement, flood mitigation projects to protect public property. And I got thinking, where we might qualify. Well, the roads on Harson's Island is continuously getting washed, freighter wash. And I contacted Kurt Weston and the head of our road commission, and definitely does qualify. I was actually gonna go over and talk to the folks, George Crown and stuff, who cleans up the mess every day from the freighter wash on the road. He's out there with his rake, raking all the seaweed back off the road every day, to see if they would want, we could potentially have a seawall from Sans Souci going downstream to where there is a decent seawall. And all the road ends, particularly on the south channel, they just have rock there. And this would potentially pay for a seawall on all these road ends too.
Some of those roads are gonna start washing out
Right.
if it's not, yeah.
And so talk to Kurt Weston, get him going on it, and Bill Hazelton, their engineer, and we're gonna have further talks on that to maybe help those people out. But in turns, it helps our road out, or saves our road from deteriorating. And we could potentially have something behind the fire hall too, because we could get flooded, our fire station could get flooded on the back on the
Yeah,
Marsh side.
certainly, yeah.
On the Marsh side too. So that's another thing we've been working on. Honestly, God, we've got a lot of irons in the fire as far as this high water and different solutions to help us out next time. And hopefully we won't see this for another 33 years, so I won't have to worry about it again. Sarah will.
Sara and Maddy.
Sarah will when she moves back from Chicago.
And decides to become a
With her
politician.
family.
Yeah, and runs for office. So, and I want to thank you girls for coming, and I hope it wasn't too boring for you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I think you girls should make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Sarah, that's all you. A motion to adjourn.
Support,
Support.
support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah,
Good job, man.
Thank you.
yes.